Hello summoners, and welcome back to another ProGuides video. My name is Genghis, and today we'll be discussing counter picks to the OP champs in 10.19. We'll be going over the runes, builds, and playstyles to effectively counter specific matchups. The next time you run into one of these characters, you will have an easy time sailing through the game. For our question of the day, what are your counters for Darius? I'm asking this question specifically because it seems like video after video, the champion is always at the top of the tier lost for solo queue. Let us know your answers in the comments below before we reveal this week's counters to Darius. Before we get started, make sure to visit ProGuides.com and try out our new VOD review coaching system. There you'll be able to send a VOD and get fully detailed report that you can watch at any time. We also have live group classes from Zyrene, Mike Young, Saskio, and King Nidhogg, so make sure to take advantage of these great opportunities and join the community. With that said, let's jump straight into the video. As we said earlier, we are here to reveal yet again another Darius counter. WUKONG is an AD dealing champion who heavily excels at gap closing and dueling.
Been waiting for this.
In this case, many people would expect a counter pick that kites back and stays outside of Darius's range. But here at ProGuides, we provide you with a tech to take down the Noxian Beast. As WUKONG, if Darius ever hooks you or channels his Q, simply engage a trade with your abilities while weaving auto attacks in between, and you should win every time. The most important thing we want to point out is making sure that you are inside Darius's Q so he does not get that bonus damage by hitting targets on the edge. Your build will consist of Blade of the Rune King, Ninja Tabby, Cleaver, Death Stance, Mortal Reminder, Guardian Angel. The build will give you all the necessary tools to take down the Darius 1v1 and still transition to the mid and late game as a strong teamfighting champion. Make sure to run Ignite in this lane. You may lose out on your ability to impact the map with Teleport, but having this aggressive summoner spell will really help you win the laning phase, which will give you lane control, allowing you to roam and gank mid lane. Our advice is to burn the Ignite on Darius while he is channeling his Q to reduce his healing, giving you more time to use a fully sacked Conqueror to win out on any skirmishes. Our next counter pick for top lane is going to be FIORA into Camille.
Insolent peasant.
Your ability to take short trades and kite Camille will force her to try and engage onto you. Whenever Camille uses E on the wall, pay close attention to where she jumps. If she jumps directly on top of you, use your parry and stun her. If she jumps beside you, save parry and skirmish with her until she is about to use her second Q on you, to which you will parry that instead. You will always win the laning phase with Grasp and outscale Camille due to the nature of the champions, so keep this in mind going into the matchup. Look to build a Ravenous Hunter, Ninja Tabby, Trinity Force, Death Stance, Mortal Reminder, and Guardian Angel. Our main tips are to poke around the vitals you are given while timing them with Grasp to make the Camille frustrated, allowing you to win the matchup. Otherwise, the last thing we will leave you with is the team-up proc can break vitals, so use that knowledge how you will. The jungle position is making an interesting shift with these champions finding more play. Hecarim and Evelynn have been taking over the Rift. We got a couple hot picks for you. Huge disclaimer for jungle. Jungle is all about lane priority. This assumes both junglers are inside a vacuum fighting each other.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be honest, Hecarim is literally running around the Rift and demolishing all of your teammates. The counter we are presenting today is Gragas. Gragas is a champion that is generally strong across all points of the game. Your main objective is to shut down anything that Hecarim wants to do by countering his ganks and making him disengage. Avoid taking 100-0 fights and constantly keep Hecarim marked in teamfights by focusing on what he wants to do. Slow him with your Q or Blue Smite so he loses a lot of damage, and then look to ult him when he gets on top of one of your carries. Once Hecarim has used all of his engagement tools and gets knocked away, he becomes pretty useless since he can't hit anybody. Look to build Blue Smite, Runic Echoes, Sorc Shoes, Zonias, Rabadons, Liandry's, and Void Staff. Gragas has a small learning curve when it comes to using E plus Flash, but if you're able to stop Hecarim in his tracks before he gets rolling, you will not only make him useless, he will be dead from all the crowd control that you have to offer. Try the combo a couple times in practice tool, and if worse comes to worse, simply point and click Blue Smite to slow Hecarim so you can land all your abilities that way. When dealing with Evelynn, you want a champion that can get up close and personal to out-DPS her.
I do not give second chances.
Lee Sin has this at all stages of the game, so you will never lose if you find Evelynn. If you ever stumble upon Evelynn, ward hop up to her and use double E to slow, which will line you up to hit the Sonic Wave. From there, the rest is history, since Evelynn cannot match your damage. For your build, look to grab Red Smite Warrior, Merc Treads, Black Cleaver, Edge of Night, Death's Dance, and Guardian Angel. Outside of demolishing Evelynn whenever you find her, make sure to purchase control wards to confirm Evelynn's location so she cannot assassinate your teammates. From here, keep her marked and you will always be significantly more useful than the Evelynn at all stages of the game. Just don't forget to clip that Lee Sin insects and send them straight to YouTube. Zed is tough to deal with because of his ability to snowball and assassinate squishy targets in the side lane. Taking Gangplank mid will completely shut down anything Zed thought he could ever do.
Dead men tell my tale.
Your ability to zone Zed from the wave with Grasp Q procs will discourage him from walking forward towards you and allows you to freely control the lane how you like. If that wasn't enough, place a barrel down and threaten the fact that you can chain the barrels if he ever walks up for poke or CS. Start off with Corrupting Potion, Sheen into Trinity Force, Ninja Tabby, Essence Reaver, Death Stance, Leandries, Infinity Edge. Abuse the Grasp procs with Taste of Blood to sustain the lane and look to help your jungler control those crabs and River Vision. Zed's shurikens will be very predictable since he will aim for minions, but watch out once Zed gets 3. Make sure to have a barrel placed aggressively so if he throws out his shadow, you can chain a barrel and match his damage. Otherwise, just keep Zed in lane and look to help side lanes with your ultimate when you see the opportunity to do so. Gangplank is a champion with a decent learning curve, so make sure to grab a challenger tier coach at ProGuides.com to help you on your quest to slay Zed. Kassadin is the most passive champion in the game during the early laning phase. However, if he is left unchecked and reaches critical mass at level 16, he is the strongest champion in League of Legends.
Bring on the bad guys.
Tristana is a champion that demolishes Kassadin early game because of her ability to push with her passive on her E. Naturally, you'll be able to not only poke Kassadin while he struggles to farm under tower, you are able to take tower plates with your explosive charge. Your objective? To make Kassadin's laning phase as challenging as possible while snowballing off of the CS and plate advantage. Even if you somehow get ganked, you can use your jump to simply get away since Kassadin will not do enough damage to make a gank work with any jungler. Look to build Infinity Edge, Berserker Greaves, Rapid Fire Cannon, Phantom Dancer, Death Stance, Mercurial Scimitar. Tristana is a niche mid laner since she mainly sees gameplay in the bottom lane, so here are a couple tips to stay ahead of the matchup. If Kassadin ever disrespects and walks up on you past level 2, jump directly on him and explode your E. The only way Kassadin should be getting CS is if he uses Q or E for ranged CSing. Otherwise, punish him if he ever melees any creep. Lastly, if Kassadin ever aggressively uses ult on you after 6, look to fight him head on and simply use your ult to create distance so you can continue kiting him. Similar to jungle, there is a huge disclaimer. AD carries will never run at each other and fight in a 1v1.
Wonderful.
The point of these counter picks is to find opportunities to win small trades and build up advantages, eventually leading to an outscale opportunity. A lot of AD carry matchups are heavily influenced by the supports, since supports dictate the pace of bottom lane. Ashe has solidified herself as a staple pick in the bottom lane in both competitive play and in solo queue. She was originally picked up to match the dominant Caitlyn, but has also found herself being picked into other matchups like Senna and Kai'Sa. In order to match up to Frost Archer, you want to go with Jhin. Jhin has the tools to outpace Ashe and match her long-ranged abilities, making you significantly more useful in lane and in teamfights. Look to hide behind minions to dodge Ashe's W poke and trade back with your bouncing grenades by placing them on a stack of 2 to 3 caster minions. You will always outmaneuver her in lane and have similar range to trade back if she autos. Look to build Storm Razor, Boots of Swiftness, Rapid Fire Cannon, Infinity Edge, Mercurial Scimitar, and Death Stance. This matchup is pretty straightforward, but here are a couple tips to hold down the lane. If you ever land an ability or auto attack on Ashe, try to follow up with your Deadly Flourish. Since Ashe has no dashes, you will likely always land this ability, rooting her in place. We were just hyping up Jhin and making him sound like a boss, but Senna has his number when it comes to laning.
The mist is not my enemy.
Your long-range poke and slowing mechanic on Glacial, followed with approach velocity, makes it very easy to stack your passive and reach faster power spikes. Look to build Manamune, Boots of Swiftness, Duskblade, Rapid Fire Cannon, Mortal Reminder, and Edge of Night. Don't be afraid to take short trades to stack your souls, since you will always outsustain Jhin with your Q. Lastly, we're going to include 2 spicy items that you can try on Senna if you run Black Cleaver and Runane's Hurricane into many melee targets. You'll be able to stack hit many targets and harvest multiple stacks during a fight while making your Q cooldown come back much faster. Look to try this build into tankier melee compositions. Just keep in mind, support counterpicks do not imply you will be 1v1ing your opponent to the death, but rather how they interact and what counter matchups can do to shut down the opponent. To beat Pantheon, you want a support who can match his damage output and shut down his all-in playstyle.
The heavens guide me.
During the laning phase, if Pantheon ever jumps on your AD carry, immediately stun and start fighting Pantheon with your auto attacks. As long as you weave your auto attacks in between your Q heals, you will completely out DPS Pantheon at all stages of the game. Look to build Relic Shield, Merc Treads, or Ninja Tabbies, Zeke's Convergence, Knight's Vow, Redemption, and Locket. During the mid-game, if Pantheon ever tries to ult in to engage, you can always activate your ult and make your team invulnerable so you can single out the Pantheon and turn on the rest of the enemy team. Lastly, try to have an AD carry that has some form of dash so they can help set up with their E plus dash plays to skirmish aggressively. Look to pick NAMI to match Lux during the laning phase.
Feet are strange.
NAMI has all the tools needed to slowly out-sustain Lux players and yet scale decently into the mid and the late game. A mechanic you can abuse on NAMI is using W on yourself to get an extra 25 range on the ability rather than using it on your opponent first. Look to build Relic Shield, Boots of Swiftness, Ardent Censer, Athene's, Mikhail's Crucible, and then Redemption. During mid-game, if you notice Lux is out of position, pull the trigger with your ult and start off fights aggressively. Otherwise, look to sit back and use Mikhail's on squishy targets who get rooted by Lux. That concludes our latest episode of Counter Picks in 10.19. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to join our Discord below where we do tons of coaching giveaways and community events. Lastly, don't forget to visit our website at ProGuides.com where you can receive coaching from pro players, watch live classes, and improve with courses from pros. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you very much for watching, and good luck on the Rift.